The third day of the fifth regular session of the 20th Congress will now come to order. May we all rise for a moment of silent prayer. Roll call, Chief Clerk.
Senator Alec, Senator Aritos, Senator Figuer, Senator Coolant, Floor Leader Harper, Senator Conman, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Panuelo, Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Orsmal, Senator Wally, Speaker Semina. Mr. Speaker, 13 members are present.
We have quorum to transact business this morning. Next item is reading of the journal. Floor Leader Harper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning to you and all honorable members, as well as our staff and all those observing our session this morning. As usual, I move to dispense with the reading of the journal.
It's moved and seconded that we dispense with the reading of the journal. Those in favor of the motion say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. We now dispense with the reading of the journal. Next item, Chief Clerk.
Item 5, Presidential Communications on receipt of numbers 20-314 through 20-318.
Assign those, Chief Clerk. Next item.
Item 6, Epsom Supreme Court Communications. There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Next item.
Item 7, Member Communications. None.
Next item.
Item 8, Departmental Communications in receipt of numbers 20-70 and 20-71.
Okay. Assign those, Chief Clerk. Next item.
Item 9, Agency or Governmental Authority Communications. None, Mr. Speaker. Item 10, State Communications. Also none. Item 11, State Supreme Court Communications. None, Mr. Speaker. Item 12, we have one. It's number 20-11.
Okay. You've been invited. How many times they have this kind of celebration, Colonial Town? How many constitutions they have? Okay. Next item.
Item 13, Foreign Government Communications. None, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, order of the day. Item 14, Standing Committee Report. First report.
Mr. Speaker, the first report is Standing Committee Report number 20-76 on Presidential Communication number 20-211, or the fiscal year 2019 budget from your Committee on External Affairs for adoption.
Chairman Willett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So moved.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopt Standing Committee Report number 20-76. That's the budget portions for under the EXAF committee jurisdiction. I'm sure you've read through the report. It's a comprehensive one. Discussion. Any discussion? Chairman Willie, you want to take the lead?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The report is very thorough and very small increases in some parts of it. Basically, the first secretary positions in 3 of the overseas offices. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman. Any other discussion from members of the committee and other members of Congress?
Chairman, Speaker.
Yes, for Leader Harper.
I'm sorry, I don't have any question regarding the report, but I want to express my complaint because yesterday I had the report in my file but this morning I don't see it anymore.
Oh, the report are starting to develop leaks. Okay, short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still on discussion of the Standing Committee Report 20-76. Chairman Romulo, you have the floor.
Thank you, Speaker. Good morning to you and members. I wish to raise my concern with the overseas offices, namely the one in Portland and the one in Guam. I was not at the hearing, but I want to know if this question have raised. I understand that the position that is filled at the consulate office in Portland was filled by an individual who have held a higher position at the embassies. And to my understanding, this was not of his will, but it was more of a request to him to take that position, to start it out, to open the embassy, the consulate office, and was asked to remain and take that demotional position. And I wish I was in the hearing so I can ask to protect the integrity of the government. I know it will be a violation of the Public Service Act to demote an individual without cost. So I don't know if this question have raised of why this individual was demoted from first secretary to a foreign service officer at a consulate office, from an embassy to a consulate office. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Romulo. I think your concern should be noted by Chairman Mully and the Committee on Exec to look into. Any further discussion on the report?
Sure. Not on the report, but on in general terms. I wish for the government, when looking for consul generals, just generals in general, and ambassadors, deputy ambassadors, that they would consider spreading the wealth. The poor individual, the young man who started the office, I thought the most natural thing would be for him to continue in that office as the consul general. I know this is this position is at the mercy and pleasure of the president, but I guess in a way, I want to put on record that I probably failed in trying to convince the administration to appoint the individual to head that office. If he was given the choice, given the chance to run it for, I believe, more than a month, he should have been given the opportunity to run it all the way. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman Romulo. So you're supporting the same issue raised by Chairman Romulo? So we're talking about the same person?
Of course, I had to intervene and stop the spouse of the individual from raising all kinds of concerns and things in a restaurant, because she, for one, was really adamant that she couldn't take the fact that her husband was working in an embassy and is now working in a consulate office. For her, that's a very bad demotion for her husband. Thank you.
Understood, Chairman Romulo, and
Speaker.
I guess I don't know whether his position, legal position, title change. from foreign service or from something higher down to foreign service officer, or the salary changed? I don't know. Or just because of the location from embassy to consulate
Speaker.
office, I don't know.
Speaker.
Yes, Chairman or Romulo, keep confusing the two.
Yes, indeed, the position had to change because it's there cannot be a first secretary at the consulate office. So I thought I also bring up a classic example of what happened. I was once with the Foreign Service office, and I had to consent to take a demotional position when I relocated to Guam. I had to resign from the higher position at the department and apply for the other position because it's a violation of the act. So to my knowledge, that didn't happen to this change of positions at the embassy to the consulate in Portland. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure Chairman Wale is taking note of this. You can do it in oversight hearings, and you have something to add.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, thank you. When we had that confirmation hearing in Portland, the person we're discussing about, Dominic, was there, and also Romulo was there. So I was wondering why did he not ask him these questions when we were out there? Should have answered all the questions and inquiries regarding the transfer and the change in salary. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman Wale. Well, I guess we had our opportunities. The discretion of the president is not unfettered. We had the advice and consent authority, and I guess we all unanimously voted for the new consul general. So I guess that's something we'll have to work on in the future. So any further discussion on the report?
Speaker.
Chairman Figueroa.
Yeah, I just want to state it for the record that the Committee on Ways and Means, which I think the Office of Personnel falls within its jurisdiction, will look at this, and I wanted to reflect in the record, because we need to look at the personnel regulation if their decision is consistent with the personnel regulation. This position that we're talking about is covered under the public service system. So we'll do that and have oversight on it along with the Committee on J&O. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Figueroa.
And I
Yes.
move for the previous question.
Okay, there is a motion which is seconded for the previous question. I will, because this is a budget report, I'll try to see if someone has any last word. If none, if there is no objection, discussion is closed on the report. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of Standing Committee Report number 20-76 say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Said report is adopted by Congress. Next report.
There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Next item.
Mr. Speaker, item 15, special committee reports. We have a special committee report number 20-13 on presidential communication number 20-211 or the fiscal year 2019 budget from your Committee on Climate Change and Environmental Issues.
Okay.
For
Vice
adoption.
Chairman Net.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If the corrected version of the report has been distributed, I shall move for the adoption of the report.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopt special committee report number 20-13. Discussion. Any discussion? Chairman Figueroa, you had something you like to say? Okay. Any further? Sir Dornet, you have the lead.
Thank you, Speaker. No, whatever was submitted by the President, the committee is in support of it and recommending for approval.
Okay. There you have it. Any further discussion? If
Mr.
none,
Speaker,
yes, for the Harbor.
thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just to refresh my mind, I thought the director position is elevated to a secretary position. No?
Well, it's a department now,
That's correct.
so that should be reflected in the budget.
Okay, thank you. I just see this director position, that's why I
Yeah,
asked.
it should be secretary, anywhere it's the secretary. That's the official position. Okay? If there is no further discussion, if there's
Just
no objection.
one small, very minor
Very
question.
small, okay.
Now that we know the position of director has been elevated to secretary, does it entail, is the salary corresponding to that title of secretary, or
As far as we know, yes.
is that does that means yes?
Yes. I think. Okay, any other question, comment? If none, there is no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of Special Committee Report number 13, say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Special Committee Report number 20-13 is adopted by Congress. Next report.
There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Next item.
Item 16, assignment of measures and communications. We have an assignment sheet or referral sheet number 20-80.
Okay, Chairman and members, review that for your planning purposes. Next item.
Item 17, unfinished business. None, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, we're now on bill calendar. First bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CB number, the first bill is CB number 20-180 for second reading.
Read the title.
CP number 20-180 is a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 19-121 as amended by Public Laws numbers 19-130, 19-142, 20-9, 20-22, 20-51, 20-59, and 20-70 by amending Section 6 thereof to change the lapse date of funds previously appropriated therein for the purpose of funding public projects and social programs for the people of the states of Yap, Koshai, Pohnpei, and Chuuk, and for other purposes.
Chairman Figueroa.
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CP number 20-180. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote by roll call of delegations.
State of Chuuk, Chairman Aritos. State of Pohnpei, Chairman Penuelo.
Bye-bye.
State of Koshai, Chairman Wali. State of Yap, Chairman Orismal. Mr. Speaker, all the four states voted in favor.
CP number 20-180 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CP number 20-230 for second reading. CP number 20-230, it's a bill for an act to amend sections 1, 3, and 9 of Public Law number 20-42 as amended by Public Laws numbers 20-54, 20-64, 20-67, 20-83, 20-94, and 20-103 in order to appropriate $70,320,000 of additional funds from the General Fund of the Federated States of Micronesia for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2018, and for other purposes.
Chairman Figueroa.
Move that Congress pass Congress Bill 20-130, 230 on second and final reading.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CP number 20-230. Discussion.
Speaker,
Chairman Figueroa, you have the floor.
I have an amendment that I wish to offer. It's been printed and duplicated, and I ask that instead of reading it, that be inserted into the bill as amended. I so move.
It's moved and seconded that the offered for amendment to CB 20-230 by Chairman Figueroa be adopted. Because of its length, we will dispense with its reading and it will be put into the record. Short recess subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still in discussion of CT1. Chairman Panuelo.
Yeah, Speaker, I wish to make an oral amendment on page 6 of the said bill, line item 14. I wish to insert letter G, Chuk Landing Station Open Access Entity Support, to insert 1 million in lieu thereof. So move.
Short recess. In session, so there is that offered oral amendment by Chairman Panuelo, which has been seconded. Discussion.
Speaker.
Floor leader, Herbert.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is not only because this money is going to Chuk, but I think it's only out of fairness and justice that we have to pass this amount. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? If none, the rules are still suspended up to this point. So if there is no objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the offered oral amendments by Chairman Panuelo, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. We now have CT2. Any further discussion on the bill?
Question.
Questions been called for. There is no further discussion. Discussion is closed. So let's vote by roll call of delegations on CT2. Chief Clerk.
State of Chuk, Chairman Aritas. State of Pohnpei, Chairman Panuelo.
Aye.
State of Koshai, Chairman Wali. State of Yap, Chairman Rosmal.
This is supplemental budget, so I yield to the chairman of money.
Chairman Figueroa.
Oh, why not? Yes. No.
Mr. Speaker, 4 states voted for.
For that reason, CB 20-230 CD2 redo the voting. Chief Clerk, roll call.
State of Yap, Chairman Figueroa.
Call Koshai again.
State of Koshai, Chairman Wali. Okay. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, 3 states voted for, 1 against.
For that reason, CB 20-230 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CB number 20-231 for second reading. We have CB 20-231, it's a bill for an act to amend Public Law Number 20-92 by amending Section 6 thereof for the purpose of changing the allotment of funds previously appropriated therein to fund public projects and social programs for the people of Yap State and for other purposes.
Chairman Fakir.
Yeah, so I move for the passage on second and final reading.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CB 20-231. Discussion. You have your amendment, Chairman Ursimo? The word "the" to be deleted.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I shall move that on page 1, line 16, insert
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. The Congress is back in session. We're still on discussion of 20-231. Chairman Ursimo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As your chairman of the Committee on Education, I have some English correction to the bill. On page 1, line 16, after the word "of," delete "the" before CYM. Delete it out. I so move.
It's moved and seconded that the offered oral amendment by Chairman Ursimo to CP 20-231 be adopted. The relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. So discussion on the offered amendment, Chairman Fakir?
Short recess.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress back in session. We're still in discussion of the offered oral amendments by Chairman Ursimo. Any further discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed, so let's vote. Those in favor of the offered oral amendments to CP 20-231 say yes. Opposed, no. The offered oral amendments are adopted. We now have CT1. Any further discussion on Congressional Draft 1? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote by roll call of delegations. Clifford.
State of Truk, Chairman Haritos. State of Pohnpei, Chairman Panuelo. State of Koshai, Chairman Wali.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Ursma. Mr. Speaker, 4 states voted for.
For that reason, CP number 20-231 CD1 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CB number 20-234 for second reading. CB number 20-234 is a bill for an act to appropriate the sum of $7 million from the General Fund of the Federated States of Micronesia for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2018, for the purpose of funding public projects and social programs for the people of Yap, Koshai, Pohnpei, and Truk states, and for other purposes.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair.
Okay,
Congress is back in session. Chairman Fakir.
move that Congress Bill number 20-234 be deferred to tomorrow's.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that CP number 20-234 be deferred to tomorrow's session. Those in favor of that motion say yes. Votes no. Motion carried. Said bill is deferred to tomorrow's session. Next bill, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have CP number 20-238 for second reading. CP number 20-238 is a bill for an act to appropriate the sum of $200,000 from the General Fund of the Federated States of Micronesia for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2018, for the purpose of funding relief efforts in Guam and Saipan due to damages caused by Typhoon Mangkhut and for other purposes.
Chairman Fakir.
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
It's been moved and seconded that Congress pass CB 20-238 on second and final reading. Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still on discussion of CB 20-238. Chairman Ursimo, you have some oral amendments to offer?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. On page 195, delete the word Saipan and insert the phrase Commonwealth of the Northern Marianas. On the same page, page 1, line 9, delete the word Saipan and insert in lieu thereof Commonwealth of the Northern Marianas.
Also in the title?
In the title also, delete the word Saipan and insert the phrase Commonwealth of the Northern Marianas in lieu thereof. So move, Mr. Speaker.
It's moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments by Chairman Ursimo to CP 20-238 be adopted. The relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. So discussion on the offered oral amendments. If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote. Those in favor of the offered oral amendments say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments are adopted. We have CT1. Any further discussion on CT1? Questions been called for if there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote by delegation. Chief Rick.
State of Duke, Chairman Aritos. State of Pompey, Chairman Penuelo.
Aye.
State of Koshai, Chairman Wali. Yes. State of Yap, Chairman Ursmal. Mr. Speaker, all the 4 states 4-4.
For that reason, CB number 20-238 CD1 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CB number 20-239 for second reading. CB number 20-239 is a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 19-54 as amended by Public Laws numbers 19-62, 19-75, 19-79, 19-99, 19-119, and 20-4 by amending Section 6 thereof to change the lapse date of funds previously appropriated therein and for other purposes.
Chairman Fakir.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CB number 20-239. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there is no objection. Discussion is closed, so let's vote by delegation.
State of Duke, Chairman Aritos. State of Pompey, Chairman Penuelo.
Aye.
State of Koshai, Chairman Willie. State of Yap, Chairman Ursmal. Mr. Speaker, all the 4 states 4-4.
CB number 20-239 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CB number 20-240 for second reading. CB number 20-240 is a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 19-60 as amended by Public Laws numbers 19-71, 19-80, 19-103, 19-148, 19-165, and 20-30 by amending Section 6 thereof to change the lapse date of certain funds previously appropriated therein to fund essential government functions, programs, projects, and activities in each of the states and for other purposes.
Chairman Fakir.
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CB number 20-240. Discussion. Any discussion?
Short recess.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Back in session. Discussion. Any further discussion on 240? Questions been called for? If there's no objection, discussion is closed. Let's vote by roll call of delegation.
State of Duke, Chairman Aritos. State of Pohnpei, Chairman Panuelo.
Aye.
State of Kushai, Chairman Willie. State of Yap, Chairman Figuer. Mr. Speaker, all the four states voted for.
CP number 20-240 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
I'd like to thank the chief clerk for yanking the chairmanship of YAP delegation from me. I know it's a long day.
Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CP number 20-241 for second reading.
Chairman Figuer.
So move.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CP number 20-241. Discussion. No discussion. If there is no objection, discussion is closed. So let's vote by roll call of delegations.
State of Duke, Chairman Aritos. State of Pohnpei, Chairman Panuelo.
Aye.
State of Kushai, Chairman Willie. State of Yap, Chairman Usman. Mrs. Speaker, all the four states voted for.
You should have thanked Chairman Rosamond of the YAP delegation. Okay, for that reason, CP number 20-241 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Speaker.
There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay,
Speaker.
Chairman Gulen.
Speaker, thank you, Speaker. I move to withdraw 20-35 on the order of business for today.
What's the bill?
Yes, that's Amendment 1.
Short recess subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still on the bill calendar. Chairman Gulen, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to withdraw the following bills. 235, 237, 242 on the order of business for today. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that the three bills, as enumerated by Chairman Gulen, be withdrawn from committees and placed on the bill calendar for action. Those in favor of the motion say yes. Opposed, no. A motion carried. Said bills are now withdrawn and placed on the bill calendar for action. First bill.
Speaker.
Yes, acting floor.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I so move that the relevant rules that may prohibit our taking action on these bills be suspended.
Any second? It's moved and seconded that the relevant rules that may impede or prohibit our actions taken on this motion be suspended. Those in favor of the motion say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The relevant rules are now suspended. Okay, first bill, Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have CB number 20-235 for first reading. CB number 20-235 is a bill for an act to further amend Section 12 of Public Law number 19-118 as amended by Public Laws numbers 19-125, 19-135, 20-01, 20-14, 20-23, 20-40, 20-46, and 20-74 to change the allotee for a certain line item for Chuk State and for other purposes.
Okay, Chairman Figuer.
Move for the passage on first reading.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass CP number 20-235 on first reading. Discussion. Any discussion?
Short recess, Mr. Speaker.
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress is back in session. We're still on discussion of the bill. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote by roll call of members. First reading. Senator Alick, Senator Aritos,
Senator Figuer, Senator Coolant, Floor Leader Harper, Senator Conman, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Neth, Senator Panuelo, Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Osmal, Senator Welly, Speaker Semina. Mr. Speaker, 12 members voted for.
For that reason, CB number 20-235 has passed Congress on first reading. Next bill.
Next bill. Mr. Speaker, the next bill is CB number 20-237 for first reading.
Go ahead.
CB number 20-237 is a bill for an act to amend Public Law number 20-93 as amended by Public Laws numbers 20-93 and 20-120 by amending Section 1 thereof to change use of funds previously appropriated therein to fund priority infrastructure projects and other public projects and social programs in the state of Pushai and for other purposes.
Chairman Figuer.
Move for passage of the bill on first reading.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on first reading CB number 20-237. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there is no objection. Discussion is closed, so let's vote by roll call of members on first reading.
Senator Alec, Senator Aritos, Senator Figuer, Senator Coolant, Floor Leader Harper, Senator Conman, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Panuelo, Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Osmal, Senator Welly, Speaker Semina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 12 members voted for.
For that reason, CB number 2-37 has passed Congress on first reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CB number 220-240 or 242 for first reading. CB number 20-242 is a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 20-53 as amended by Public Laws numbers 20-57, 20-61, 20-69, 20-91, and 20-96 by amending sections 3 and 5 thereof to change the use and allotment of funds previously appropriated therein for the purpose of funding priority infrastructure projects and other projects and programs in the state of Pohnpei and for other purposes.
Chairman Figuer.
Move for the passage of the bill on first reading.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on first reading CB number 20-242. Any discussion? Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Discussion is closed. So let's vote by roll call of members.
Senator Alec, Senator Aritos, Senator Figuer,
Yes.
Senator Coolant, Floor Leader Harper, Senator Conman, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Panuelo, Senator Perman, Senator Romulo, Senator Osmal, Senator Welly, Speaker Semina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 11 members are voted for the bill.
Okay, for that reason, CB number 20-242 has passed Congress on first reading. Next bill.
There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Speaker,
Chairman Romolo, you have the floor.
make a motion to stand in recess until 12 o'clock, 10 o'clock tomorrow.
Sorry.
It's moved and seconded that Congress stand in recess until tomorrow at 10 in the morning. Those in favor of the motion say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Congress now stands in recess until tomorrow at 10 in the morning.